It's just past midnight. The house is dead silent except for the ticking of a wall clock. Emma, a 26-year-old woman, lies in bed under dim lamplight, flipping through a novel. Suddenly she pauses. She hears it, a faint whisper, almost like someone softly muttering just behind her bedroom wall. At first, she thinks it's her imagination. But then it comes again. Clearer this time. A breathy, broken voice repeating, "Emma, can you hear me?" Startled, she sits up and looks around. The whispering continues, slow and deliberate, coming directly from the wall next to her bed. She slowly leans closer, placing her ear against the cold plaster. Suddenly, a chilling breath escapes from the wall itself, fogging the wallpaper. Emma jerks back in horror. Her heart pounds. She stares in disbelief as she watches the wall pulse softly, almost like it's breathing. She whispers, "Who's there?" No answer. Just silence. Then, a light tapping from inside the wall, followed by another whisper, "Let me out, please." Emma backs away, trembling, her eyes never leaving the wall. As the light flickers above her, she realizes something terrifying. The voice knew her name, and it was never part of the house before tonight. Caleb, a 31-year-old antique collector, has just moved into a century-old Victorian house deep in the countryside. While organizing the study room, he notices something strange, a draft coming from behind the built-in bookshelf, despite all the windows being shut. Curious, he pushes the heavy bookshelf aside. Dust billows into the air. Behind it, hidden in the faded wallpaper, is a small rectangular outline, a door no more than 3 feet high. It's covered in peeling floral wallpaper, almost like someone didn't want it to be found. The moment Caleb touches it, he hears a whisper, low, distant, and muffled, as if someone is speaking through several layers of walls. He freezes. "Come closer." He swallows hard, pressing his ear to the door. The voice is clearer now, childlike, weak, but calling. "I'm still here in the dark. I never left." He pulls back. There's no handle on the door, just a rusty keyhole. Caleb grabs a flashlight, shining it into the crack between the door and the frame, but it reveals only darkness that seems to move. As he backs away slowly, the whisper becomes more urgent, faster. "Don't go. Caleb, you open the way. Don't leave me again." Caleb's face turns pale. He never told anyone his name since moving here. He stares at the door, heart racing. How did it know his name? The flashlight begins to flicker. Suddenly, there's a loud knock from inside the door. Once, twice, then silence. Caleb stumbles back, bookshelf toppling behind him, but the whispering continues. Only now it's coming from inside every wall of the room. 3 weeks after Caleb's disappearance, the house is listed for rent again. A young nurse, Nora, rents the upstairs unit. She has no idea about the missing tenant, only that the place is quiet and cheap. One night after a long hospital shift, she takes a hot bath. The bathroom walls are oddly warm to the touch. As she relaxes, she hears a soft whisper, just like a child behind the wall. "Don't turn around." She thinks she's just tired, but the whisper returns louder. "Help me." Suddenly, a handprint forms in the steam on the tile wall beside her. Then another. Dozens. All small, like children's hands. Terrified, Nora jumps out of the tub. In the mirror, behind her, a faint shadow appears for just a second, tall, twisted, and watching. She runs out of the bathroom screaming. Later that night, she tries to leave the house, but the front door won't open. And from inside the walls, the whisper returns clearer now. One more. 2 nights after Nora vanished, the landlord posts the house again, no questions asked. A young filmmaker named Lucas moves in, drawn by the house's vintage charm and low rent. He plans to shoot a horror short film inside it. Real haunted house vibes, he jokes to his friend over the phone. But on the second night, the audio on his camera begins to glitch. When he plays back footage from earlier that day, Even in silent rooms, there's whispering in the background. He listens closely. A soft voice says, "Lucas, you can hear us, can't you?" Chills run down his spine. Thinking it's electrical interference, he decides to investigate. With his camera rolling, he scans the hallway walls with an EMF reader. Near the staircase, it starts beeping violently. He puts his ear against the wall. Nothing. He drills a small hole to look inside, just to prove to himself it's all in his head. But when he shines a flashlight into the hole, there's an eye staring back at him. It blinks. Lucas stumbles back, dropping his camera. The lights flicker. The whispers return, louder now, overlapping, men, women, children, all trapped in endless murmurs. "You opened it again. We're getting stronger." Lucas grabs his keys to run, but every door in the house is locked tight. His camera lies on the floor, still recording. In the reflection of a window behind him, a shadow moves across the wall, crawling just beneath the surface like it's alive. He screams, but no one hears. The next day, the house is empty once again. A week later, the house is listed again, this time to Isla, a freelance painter in her early 30s. She moves into the downstairs unit, unaware of the disappearances before her. To her, the place is vintage and full of character. She sets up her canvas in the living room, planning to repaint the walls with warm, bright colors. On the first day, she begins with a cheerful sunflower yellow, hoping to bring life into the gloomy place. But the paint doesn't stick. No matter how many coats she applies, one specific spot on the wall refuses to be covered. It keeps bubbling, peeling, bleeding through the brush strokes. Frustrated, she scratches at it, and the paint flakes off like old skin. Beneath the paint, she finds something horrifying. Long, jagged scratch marks etched deep into the plaster, and in the middle, written in red, faded but visible, "I'm still here, Isla." She staggers backward, paintbrush falling from her hand. "How?" she whispers. "No one knows her name here. She's only lived in the house for 3 days." Suddenly, she hears tapping from inside the wall, as if someone is scratching to get out. She grabs her phone and records it, but when she plays the audio back, it's not tapping anymore. It's a whispering chorus. "Paint us free. Let us out. Let us out." Frightened, Isla begins tearing away the paint with her bare hands, desperate to see what's underneath. The whispers grow louder, surrounding her, filling the room. Her hand bleeds as she claws the wall, and beneath the surface, something begins to move. The wall pulses, then breathes. And then, it whispers her name again, right next to her ear. It's been 2 days since Isla vanished without a trace. The landlord is silent. The police do nothing. The house is listed again. This time, a skeptical podcast host named Ethan moves in. He specializes in debunking paranormal myths and has one goal in mind: prove this haunted house is just local legend. He arrives with microphones, night vision cameras, and audio equipment. He sets everything up around the house and begins recording, day and night. The first night, nothing happens. He records, listens, rewinds. Dead silence. Then, around 3:33 a.m., the audio monitor spikes. He hears it clearly in his headphones. Whispers. Low. Repeating. Breathing between the walls. He isolates the track. Slows it down. The voice is saying his name, in a dozen different tones, overlapping one another. "Ethan. Ethan, behind you." He turns quickly. No one is there. Just the hallway wall, plain and still. He laughs it off, thinking maybe it's an echo, or his brain playing tricks. He records his commentary, but when he plays it back, his own voice is gone. Instead, the recording now plays a different voice, deep and hollow. "You record us, we record you." Terrified, he pulls his headphones off. The walls around him begin creaking, tightening. His equipment turns on by itself, lights blinking, microphones whispering. Then a loud bang. From inside the wall next to the bookshelf. Ethan slowly approaches. He places his mic against the plaster. It picks up a terrifying sound. Breathing. Wet animal-like. Close. He looks down. The base of the wall is bleeding. A thick black liquid seeps from the corner and starts spelling something on the floorboards. He backs away, his camera still recording. As he turns toward the door, the wall behind him bulges, like something massive is pushing through, trying to escape. His audio feed crackles with one last sentence. "We hear you now." The feed cuts. The house stands quiet once more. No renters. No visitors. Until one day a university student named Sophie arrives. She's writing a thesis on urban legends and haunted architecture, and she's heard rumors about this house. Whispers, disappearances, strange audio. She convinces the silent landlord to let her stay 1 week. "I don't scare easily," she says with a smile. The first 2 nights are quiet. But on the 3rd night, Sophie wakes from a nightmare, drenched in sweat, heart pounding. In her dream, she saw a young girl trapped inside the walls, screaming, bleeding, begging to be freed. The girl's face was covered in deep scratch marks, her mouth sewn shut. Sophie gets up and turns on her light. Everything seems fine, until she notices something new on the wall across her room. Fresh fingernail scratches, deep and uneven, like someone had been clawing from inside. Her mouth goes dry. She checks the walls. They're cold. Still. She pulls out her notebook and begins writing everything down, date, time, description. But as she writes, she hears it. A whisper directly behind her head. "That's my story, not yours." She spins around, nothing. Panicked, she checks the wall with her flashlight. There's a tiny slit, barely visible near the baseboard. It wasn't there yesterday. She kneels down and peers inside. It's pitch black, but she hears breathing. A faint, ragged inhale, right near her ear. Then a sudden, childlike giggle from inside. She jumps back. Her flashlight flickers and dies. In the darkness, something begins scratching again. Faster, louder, like dozens of nails ripping through wood. And then, from every wall around her, voices whisper together. She's writing again. We warned her. Take her pages. The next morning, her notebook is found lying outside the front door, soaked in black fluid, pages torn and rewritten. Sophie is gone. Jackson, a 28-year-old realtor, has had enough. After hearing rumors that the house is haunted and people disappear from it, he decides to disprove everything by throwing a party inside, live-streamed. He invites a few friends, brings in cameras, music, drinks, and lights up the once silent halls with laughter and dancing. "It's just a stupid house," he says, unlocking the front door like it's no big deal. "We'll prove this place is just a dusty old myth." At first, everything seems fine. Friends roam the house. Jokes fly. Someone even jokes about hearing whispers. But then, the music cuts out. Every speaker goes dead. The lights dim. The group goes quiet. From the hallway, a soft whisper echoes. "One of you is staying." Everyone freezes. Jackson tries to laugh it off, but then someone screams. A girl named Tara has vanished. She was standing right next to the wall in the hallway. Jackson checks the footage from his phone and watches in horror as she's seen slowly backing toward the wall, and then suddenly, violently pulled into it. No hole. No opening. She just disappears into solid plaster. Panic erupts. They try to open the front door. It won't budge. Windows won't break. The whispers start again, louder now, circling them from every side. "You brought us more." One by one, his friends begin to vanish. Not violently. Just 1 second they're there. The next they're gone, as if absorbed into the walls. Jackson is the last one left. He runs to the basement, breathing heavily, phone shaking in his hand. He hides in a corner, whispering into the camera. "If someone finds this, don't come here. It's not a house. It's a mouth." Behind him, the wall begins to stretch, as if something is pushing from the other side. His live stream ends. 2 weeks after Jackson's doomed party, the house stands empty, but not forgotten. Lily, a paranormal investigator with a modest YouTube following, becomes obsessed with the case after watching fragments of Jackson's final live stream. She believes it was staged, until she replays the footage frame by frame. In one paused frame, she sees it, a distorted face pressing out of the wall, right before the video cuts. Determined to uncover the truth, she sneaks into the house late one evening with her camera gear and EMF tools. The moment she steps inside, her phone pings, a notification. She looks down. Welcome back, Lily. She's never been here before. Her hands begin to tremble. Shrugging it off, she begins recording. The EMF reader goes crazy in every room. As she walks upstairs, she hears it, soft, breathy voices, all saying the same thing over and over. Lily! 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 She freezes on the top step. The voice is coming from inside the walls again. Every direction. She whispers, "What do you want?" Silence, and then, "Stay with us." Suddenly, her phone flashlight turns on by itself. It swings toward the hallway wall, where words begin to appear, slowly forming like they're being written from the inside. "You already belong to us." Her body stiffens. She can't move. The hallway feels narrower. The walls closer. She tries to back away, but her shoes feel stuck to the floor. The wallpaper starts to peel back on its own, revealing layers underneath. Handprints, names scratched in, all in blood-red ink. She sees names she doesn't recognize, until she sees hers. Lily written 3 times. The final whisper she hears, right beside her ear, is in her own voice. "I'm already inside." Her camera drops to the ground, still recording. Footsteps echo across the hallway, but no one is seen leaving the house. Owen, a single father, moves in with his 6-year-old daughter Mira. He's desperate, rent is cheap, and they need a fresh start. He's never heard of the disappearances. No one tells him. At first, the house seems normal, quiet, safe. But after just one night, Mira begins talking to someone Owen can't see. "My friend in the wall says she used to be real," she says, sitting in the hallway with her hand pressed against the plaster. "She whispers to me when I sleep. She's lonely." Owen laughs it off. Kids have imaginary friends. No big deal. But then things start to change. Mira begins drawing disturbing images. People trapped in walls, faces without eyes, mouths stitched shut. And always the same word written over and over. "Listen." One night, Owen hears her talking through the baby monitor. But when he checks on her, she's asleep, and the voice keeps going. A whisper. Not hers. "Daddy can't hear us yet, but he will." Terrified, Owen checks the hallway wall the next day. It's warm, slightly pulsing. He puts his palm on it, and instantly hears breathing from inside. He steps back, and the wall exhales. A visible puff of cold air brushes against his face. Now convinced something is wrong, he tries to move out. But the front door is jammed. The windows won't open. That night, Mira wakes him up. She says, "We can't leave, Daddy." She says the walls are hungry again. He grabs her and runs toward the door. But every wall in the house begins knocking from the inside. First softly, then violently. Owen looks down. Mira is no longer holding his hand. He turns, she's gone. The wall behind him ripples like water, and her voice whispers through it. "I live here now." Grace, a 35-year-old structural engineer, is hired by the city to inspect the old house. It's been abandoned for months now. No renters, no reports. Just silence. Too much silence. She walks in with blueprints and tools, convinced this is all superstition. Her job is to assess whether the house should be torn down. From the moment she steps inside, her tablet glitches. Every photo she tries to take distorts. Walls blur, corners stretch unnaturally, and in every image, there's a faint figure standing near a wall watching. She checks the foundation solid. The wiring clean. But the walls? They're wrong, she whispers to herself. The dimensions don't match the original blueprints. On paper, the hall should be 12 feet long. In person, it's 16. There are extra feet of space that shouldn't exist. Space between walls that leads nowhere. As she drills into a section to examine the inside, her drill jerks violently and flies from her hands, as if something grabbed it from within. Then the whispering starts. Calm. Soft. Surrounding her. Engineer, fixer, liar. You can't rebuild what was never yours. She looks down, her blueprints are gone. In their place, spread across the floor, are new ones. Yellowed, old, burnt at the edges. She picks one up. It shows the house, but with no rooms. Just walls. Endless, twisting walls. She hears footsteps behind her. Turns quickly, no one. But the room is smaller now. The walls are closer. She tries to run, but every door leads to another wall. No exits. Just endless corners. Finally, she screams, kicking one of the walls in rage, and it screams back. A sharp, human scream, like the wall itself felt pain. She falls to her knees. All around her, whispers swirl into one booming voice. No more space. Make more walls. The next day, her van is found outside empty. Inside the house, there's a new sealed room. No doors. No windows. Just silence. Leo, a retired carpenter in his early 60s, is hired by the property owner to start renovating the old house again. Patch the walls, replace the floors, make it look alive again. He's been working on houses for 40 years. He doesn't believe in ghosts. Wood creaks. Pipes moan. People imagine the rest, he mutters as he enters with his toolbox. But the moment he steps in, he notices something off. The house is too quiet. No echo. No wind. The air is stagnant. Heavy. He begins by hammering nails into the walls to install baseboards. But the moment he hits the first nail, a sharp scream rings out from inside the wall. Short, human, and agonizing. Leo freezes. He knocks on the wall. It knocks back in the same rhythm. He tries a second nail. The wall shudders, like it's in pain. Blood like liquid seeps around the edge of the nail, dripping to the floor. Panicked, Leo tears off the wallpaper and finds something impossible. The wall is covered in stitches. Long, crude, human-like stitches, like someone has sewn the wall shut. He backs away, whispering to himself. What the hell is this? That's when the knocking starts again. This time from all directions. A voice follows. Raf, oarse, familiar. You built the walls, now die inside them. Leo turns to run, but the hallway is longer than before, much longer. The front door is gone. The windows vanish into smooth surfaces. He claws at the walls. His fingers sink slightly, like the surface is flesh beneath thin wood. And then he sees them. Faces, hundreds of them, pressing out from the walls. Mouths open in silent screams, eyes bulging, trying to break free. Leo drops his tools and falls to his knees. The house breathes in, then out, and Leo is gone. Later, new workers arrive, but no sign of Leo is found, except for a new board nailed into the wall, stained in something dark and still warm. Ava, a freelance writer in her late 20s, lives in a city over 300 miles away from the cursed house. She's never been there, never even heard of it. But for the past few nights, she hears it. Not outside. Not inside her apartment. But in her head. In her walls. A soft, persistent whisper that only comes after midnight. Ava, come home. She wakes up drenched in sweat. Checks every room. Puts her ear to the wall. And hears scratching soft, like fingernails on drywall. She calls her landlord, thinking it's rats. They find nothing. Her therapist suggests it's stress. But then she records it. That night, she leaves her phone recording on the nightstand. When she listens to it the next morning, she hears her name whispered 127 times. And the final whisper? You've already been here. Confused and shaken, she looks through old photos her parents sent months ago, baby pictures. In one of them, she sees a newborn Ava in the arms of a smiling woman, in front of a house. She freezes. It's that house. The same cursed house. She confronts her mother, who goes silent, then breaks down, admitting they once lived there for only 2 weeks when Ava was a baby, before they fled after hearing things in the walls. Ava stares at the photo. Her hands tremble. That night, the whispers return, louder than ever. The walls in her apartment begin to pulse. Cracks form. A breeze comes through, cold, musty like rotting wood. And then she hears it again. Not in her head. Not from her apartment. But from inside her bedroom wall. We never stop calling you. Welcome back, Ava. The wallpaper begins to peel itself off, revealing hundreds of names written underneath. And hers is already there. Suddenly, she collapses. Her body stiff, eyes wide, as if something reached through the wall and pulled her mind out. When she wakes up, she's standing inside the cursed house. The same hallway. The same walls. And the whispers? They never stop now. Miles, 24, is a curious techie and self-proclaimed paranormal debunker. He sees Ava's bizarre disappearance trending on obscure forums. A friend sends him a creepy audio clip. The one where Ava's name is whispered 127 times. He laughs it off. Probably just AI. Layered whispers. Anyone can fake that. But the longer he listens to the file, the more off it feels. Because one whisper, buried deep in the mix, says something impossible. Miles stops listening. He pauses, rewinds, replays. It's there. He didn't tell anyone he was listening. He didn't post his real name. Now unsettled, he runs a spectrum analysis on the sound file and discovers strange, non-human frequencies between the whispers. He cranks up the volume, puts on noise-canceling headphones, and hears a knocking rhythm under the whispers. He taps back. Once. Twice. 3 times. Immediately 3 knocks reply. Not from his computer. From the wall behind him. He rips the headphones off, staring at the wall of his apartment. It's completely still. No sound. Then, a small piece of paint curls and falls to the floor. He slowly approaches. Puts his hand on it. It's warm. Breathing. Pulsing. Suddenly, the entire wall thumps from the inside. Hard enough to shake the shelf next to it. He backs away whispering, "What the hell is this?" Then, from behind the wall, a voice speaks directly, clearly, and cruelly. "Your turn to believe, Miles." Without warning, his computer screen goes black, then flashes an image. The hallway. The cursed house. Except now he's in it. Live. The webcam is showing him standing there. Even though he's still in his room. He turns, and the walls in his apartment are no longer his own. They read the houses. The same peeling wallpaper. The same rotting boards. The same whispering cracks. He runs for the door. But it's gone. His scream is swallowed by silence, and the whispers begin again. Hannah, a 42-year-old real estate agent, is known for flipping the unflippable. If there's a cursed property no one wants, she'll sell it. Fast. She hears about the house, the one that drives people mad. Makes them vanish, whispers to the walls. She laughs it off. Urban legend. Creepy marketing. She finds the property listing. No images. No floor plan. Just a short note. Buyer must visit alone. The walls remember. Still thinking it's a hoax, she drives 3 hours out to see it herself. The house looks normal. Rundown, yes, but not monstrous. She walks through the front door, phone recording everything, documenting details for her listing. She starts narrating. Okay, main entrance. Hardwood floor. Needs polish. Smells a little musty, but nothing unusual. Suddenly she freezes. She hears a faint voice in her own voice, repeating what she just said. She rewinds the audio. There's a delay, a perfect mimic of her sentence, but it keeps going after she stops. Smells a little musty. but nothing unusual. Except the walls. They're hungry. She stares at the phone shaken. Then the house door slams shut behind her. Locked. Lights flicker. The hallway stretches. Suddenly, she's no longer near the entrance. The layout has changed. Panicked, she tries to trace her way back, but the rooms keep rearranging. Each door leads to a hallway. Each hallway leads to more walls. And every wall now has names carved into it. She sees one and stops breathing. Hannah Lynn Mercer. Her full name. Already there. She drops her phone. It cracks but continues recording, filming her as she turns a corner and vanishes from view. Later, a construction team is sent to inspect the property after she goes missing. They find her phone still recording. The final video shows a new wall, freshly sealed, still wet with plaster. And inside it, the shape of a human hand, pressed firmly against the inside surface, like someone is trapped. Ezra, 39, a quiet antique collector, lives alone in a small coastal town. He deals in rare objects tied to the paranormal, not because he believes in ghosts, but because others do, and they pay well. One rainy morning, a heavy, unmarked box arrives at his doorstep. No return address. Just a small note tucked under the twine. From the house. Keep it close. Ezra frowns. He didn't order anything. Inside the box, a chunk of old plaster wall, framed like an artifact. Yellowed. Cracked. There's also a recorder, already switched on. Curious, Ezra plays the tape. At first, silence. Then the sound of breathing. Then, scraping. Scratching. A whisper. Ezra, we want to show you where you belong. The light bulb in his room flickers and pops. The walls around him creak, but the building is solid. New. He sets the plaster sample on a shelf. That night, Ezra wakes up at 3:03 a.m. His apartment smells like old wood, dusty carpet, wet earth. He sits up, and the plaster on the shelf is gone. In its place, a patch of wall that doesn't belong. A piece of a different building, embedded into his own. He touches it. It's warm. Soft. Moist. Suddenly, his fingers sink into the wall as if it were flesh. He screams, trying to pull back, but the wall won't let go. He hears them, the voices. Hundreds of them. Moaning. Whimpering. Laughing. They say his name in dozens of languages. Some not human. You don't collect the house, Ezra. The house collects you. His hand is dragged in. Then his arm. His shoulder. As he screams, his entire body is pulled into the patch of wall. And once again, his apartment is normal. Clean. Quiet. Except the shelf now holds the same framed plaster piece. But this time, it's fresh. Still damp. And now there's a new name carved across it. Ezra S. Welt. And the recorder? Still playing. But now it whispers on loop. One more inside. For to go. Blair, 35, is a trauma therapist who specializes in helping victims of paranormal experiences. She's heard about the house, but believes it's just a mass delusion. A meme that's evolved into a psychological virus. She agrees to counsel Ezra's sister, who claims her brother vanished after receiving a piece of a haunted wall. Blair listens patiently, records the session, and tells the woman what she tells every patient. Haunting isn't contagious. Fear is. But that night, while reviewing the audio, Blair hears something strange between her own sentences. A whisper layered beneath her words. Not her client's voice. Not hers. You're wrong, Blair. It's already inside you. She freezes. She rewinds. The whisper's still there. She tries to clean the audio with software, but the more she filters, the clearer the whisper becomes. It grows louder, more personal. It starts saying things no one could know, private details from her childhood. You remember the attic. You remember the door that shouldn't have been there. We were there too. Suddenly, Blair feels dizzy. She grips the edge of her desk as the room begins to tilt unnaturally. The walls seem to stretch, not physically, but in her vision, as if her mind is no longer processing space correctly. She stands and stumbles to the wall, places her hand against it. It feels wrong. Not cold, not warm, just watching. She gasps and pulls her hand back. 5 clear fingerprints remain on the wall, burned in. Then her light bulb explodes. In the flash, she sees something in the mirror, a figure behind her, tall, featureless, completely still, covered in cracked plaster and whispering silently. When she turns, there's nothing there. But in the mirror, it remains. Then the whispers begin, this time, all around her. The ceiling, the vents, the floor, the walls. They all speak in unison. Blair, you help people escape their minds. Let us show you what it's like when your mind becomes the house. Her eyes roll back. She collapses. When she wakes up, she's lying on a carpeted floor she doesn't recognize. The room is dim. Wallpaper peeling. Familiar. It's the hallway. The cursed house. She checks the walls, sees portraits of every person we've met. Ava, Miles, Hannah, Ezra, and now, Blair. All their eyes move inside the frames, watching her. As she begins to scream, the camera slowly pulls back, revealing that these portraits are now part of the wallpaper, stretched and faded. Their souls now paper the house. Kieran, 28, is a digital archivist working for a podcast that investigates urban legends. His job? Dig up old news, police reports, and audio from paranormal cases. He stumbles across a strange folder titled, The Whispering House, Internal Only. There are no records of who uploaded it. No timestamp. Inside, 47 sound files. No voices. No talking. Just whispers, layered, chaotic, repeating one phrase in countless variations. It came from inside. The walls. He brushes it off as another internet hoax. But later, at home, he starts hearing the same whisper, not through headphones, but through the drywall in his apartment. One night, while editing an unrelated interview, he notices something in the audio waveforms, tiny distortions he didn't add. Zooming in, he realizes they're not errors. They form shapes, architectural layouts, floor plans. And when he pieces them together, they form a blueprint of a house that doesn't exist on any map. At the center of the plan, a room called the Echo Chamber. Obsessed, he builds the blueprint in 3D software, and the program crashes. When he reboots, his entire desktop wallpaper has changed. It's a photo of a hallway. Not his hallway. The hallway. Old. Dusty. Familiar. Panicking, he uninstalls the program, deletes the folder. But every time he opens a browser, every time he turns on his phone, the house appears. One day, he clicks on a random image, and the screen goes black. Then, a live feed appears. It's a room with a single wooden chair, and someone is sitting in it. It's Kieran. He touches his face, still at his desk, but the man in the chair mimics every movement. Suddenly, the camera feed zooms in, and the walls behind the seated Kieran begin closing in. The room grows smaller. The camera zooms tighter. And now it's not a video. It's a mirror. He is in the chair. He never left. The whispers begin again, now from his monitor speakers, phone, walls, everywhere. You archived us, Kieran. Now we'll archive you. The screen goes dark. And in the morning, when his coworkers check his workstation, all they find is his headset. And a new folder. Titled, Kieran Inside. Inside it, one audio file. Just whispering. And one image. A wall. With his face. Fading into the plaster. Elise, 42, was one of the first to survive the original house years ago. She was a teenager then, the only one to make it out. She never spoke about what she saw. Not to police. Not to family. Not even in her sleep. She now lives off-grid in a cabin surrounded by silence. No phone. No internet. No mirrors. Only books, and salt circles around every wall. But something's changed. For the first time in 2 decades, she dreams of the house again. Except now it's different. It doesn't chase her. It welcomes her back. One night, she wakes to find her salt lines disturbed. A breeze where there should be no draft. In the corner of her room, a door has appeared, wooden, ancient, breathing softly. It wasn't there yesterday. She refuses to open it. But every night, the door moves closer to her bed. And every morning, it returns to the corner. Then she begins to hear the whisper again. The same one that lured her into the house all those years ago. You left too early, Elise. But we never let you go. One evening, she places a camera to record herself sleeping. At 3:03 a.m., the footage shows her sitting upright, eyes open, whispering to the air. I remember the walls. I remember the blood. Then she turns to the camera and says clearly, I never left. The camera shakes violently and cuts to black. When she wakes, she's on the staircase. The house has rebuilt itself, inside her cabin. It's no longer a structure. It's a condition. Room by room, it consumes her sanctuary, replacing windows with boarded ones, clean floors with rotted wood. Her cabin transforms, 1 inch at a time, into the house. She sees the portraits. She hears the cries. She smells the wet rot of memory. And this time she doesn't run. She steps into the hallway she once escaped from, whispering, if I'm the last, I'll seal the door myself. But the house laughs. You were never the last. You were just the first brick. And Elise vanishes into the wallpaper. Now her cabin stands quiet in the woods. But if anyone enters, they find an old wooden staircase, leading somewhere far deeper than the forest allows. The screen fades in. We see a boy, around 14 years old, sitting on the floor of a pitch-black room. He wears a dirty white shirt. He's pale, quiet. His name is Silas. He's been here a while. He's not screaming. He's listening. All around him, the walls breathe like lungs. The whispering has stopped. There's only one sound now. A slow rhythmic heartbeat. Thump. Thump. It comes from behind the wall in front of him. Not loud, deep. Like the heartbeat of the house itself. Suddenly a door appears. Not a physical one, just the outline glowing faintly red. Silas stands. As he approaches, we see the door is made from dozens of faces, stretched and frozen in silent screams. Familiar faces, all 19 from before. Ava, Miles, Ezra, Elise, King. All of them. Their whispers rise once more. This is where we were always going. This is what we built. For it. Silas reaches out. The wall doesn't open. It inhales him. He stumbles into a vast, impossible space. The heart room. No ceiling. No floor. Just endless dark and floating wall fragments, covered in memories. Each wall spins slowly, revealing flashes. Elise's cabin. Blair's therapy room. The hallway. The staircase. The scream. The blue light. The finger on the wall. In the center floats a massive shape, pulsing, like a cocoon made of wall panels, wallpaper, insulation, wood and flesh. It's beating. Silas walks forward. He asks the question no one dared before. Why are you whispering? And the voice finally answers. Not a whisper anymore. A deep, resonant chorus, made from the voices of all who came before. Because if we screamed, you'd run. But if we whisper, you lean in closer. The cocoon begins to crack. From within it, a shape emerges, tall, shifting, faceless. It is not a ghost. It is not a demon. It is the memory of all who entered, stitched together by fear. It walks toward Silas. You are the final voice. The last silence. When you speak, we become whole. Silas whispers, I hear you. And the screen cuts to black. For a long time there is nothing. Then faintly you hear it. A whisper. From your left speaker. Then you're right. Then behind you. It's inside the walls of your room now.